Hello, everyone. Hello. That's probably going to be really loud.
Yeah. That probably is going to be really loud.
Just... like, okay. Yes, we're back again.
Yes.
Back again. Hopefully you guys
We did it twice because it was so nice.
Yes. Hopefully you guys enjoyed our return episode.
Yeah, which was...
Conjuring.
Yeah. Number one.
That was fun to revisit it, I guess. And
yeah, we did it in prime spooky hours, by the way. Like middle of the night time.
Yeah. Actually, literally,
yeah.
What was it, like 11, 12 o'clock?
Yeah, 11, 12 o'clock-ish. But now we're back.
We're back again.
On a much brighter note.
Yeah, pretty much. Mm-hmm. Because now we're recording in the morning. And we don't have a drink with us. So, right back to it again.
Yeah.
No drink in this Drink and Dried episode.
But, we try to do drinks and then, bang.
And then we just don't do them.
We just don't do them.
We had coffee, so that works.
Coffee was great. I liked it, actually. It was really good.
Yeah, thank you. Today we're going to be doing, review Sherlock Holmes.
How is it that we've been doing this how many years now and we still don't know what we do?
Well, because it's kind of like up in the air of like, is it a review? Is it just us talking about it?
I think it's a little bit of more the latter than the former.
It's like a bit of both, but
a bit of both. Yeah.
Basically, yeah, we'll be doing 2009 Sherlock Holmes, which is a while ago.
A while ago, but it is a packed cast. We got Robert Downey Jr., Jude Law. Let me look at the back of the stuff here.
Flip it around.
Oh, I gotta flip it around.
Yeah.
Rachel McAdams and Mark Strong. Love Mark Strong, actually. He does really good villains.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
So I'm a little excited for this one because I haven't seen it in a while, but I remember watching it a whole bunch.
Yeah, I feel like I chose a good day to bring my hat because apparently it's very fitting for the movie and the time that it takes place, which apparently you said was like in the late
1890s.
1890s.
Apparently, it's like still in that era of like steamboats and trains and stuff, but not quite the automobile.
It was,
I guess,
starting
like
to,
it was,
I think.
But I mean, like the whole like era of it.
Yeah,
It wasn't like every
It was just
city.
an age of invention and breaking new ground and
kind of like industrial.
A little industrial,
little bit
pre-industrial maybe.
Yeah, but this is like also like Britain.
And this is all
England,
in England too.
So
yeah.
a little different. Obviously, because like for me, I always think of industrial era, like like U.S.
Oh, in U.S. history terms.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh no, it's a little different. It's in Britain.
It's a different industrial.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. 1890 London.
1890. So yeah, fun little period piece. I like a nice period piece.
Yeah, it's fun, and I think you'll be doing most of the
talking,
reviewing, and the talking. But yeah, because I think it just kind of like starts with him just being on a case already. Yeah,
he was already on a case, and initially I think he was just trying to figure out more about the Moriarty stuff.
I think
that he's just been like on and off about. He's just like stringing things together, this and that. You see like essentially his office, which is just
an assortment of stuff.
Yeah. You see like I think it was at this point where like both Sherlock, who's played by Robert Downey Jr., and Watson, played by Jude Law, are kind of like, they're not like working together anymore. Like they were working together for like a period of time, and then right now they're kind of just like in a bit of a going their separate ways because I think they were essentially flatmates.
Yeah, basically, and I think Watson was trying to get married too.
Yes,
at the same
time.
Trying
to get married. He made lovely lady.
Yeah,
who wants to marry her.
And of course, with with Holmes, he's always so used to having him
being there.
So now
he's help.
Yeah, and I do like throughout the movie where there's like that kind of like weird strife, I guess.
Yeah.
Where he's like Holmes doesn't want him to go, but he doesn't tell him straight out.
It's like I don't want him to go, but at the same time, like.
But he's getting married.
He's getting married. It's like, what kind of an asshole am I if I'm just constantly
like always around?
Yeah,
always around.
Yeah. So he's that one friend that like never leaves even after you and your significant other are together. So anyway,
he's on his case.
He's on the case, and then
is it the Blackwood case? Like
Blackwood
immediately,
case.
Right?
So immediately he's basically closes the door on Moriarty stuff. Mm-hmm. So the Blackwood case thing, that's all starting with a scene of these cultists around this altar, and essentially they are in the middle of this like ritualistic sacrifice of someone's. I'm assuming it was like a noble's or somebody like an aristocrat or somebody's like wealthy daughter. Mm-hmm. So obviously we can't have that. Because if this was anybody else, because if this was like a regular commoner, a peasant, it's like, we couldn't get there. I'm kidding,
dang.
I'm kidding. Actually, I think that Holmes is actually the one guy who's like, case is case. I'm here to do a job.
Yeah,
and we kind of get introduced to the character of Holmes, and we also meet this movie's essentially main antagonist villain, which is Lord Blackwood, played by Mark Strong,
which he played it very well.
He does villains really good, man. I think he did also. Well, besides the point. Anyway, Blackwood is about to do this like cultist ritualistic thing, and essentially the whole premise of this movie kind of revolves around him and whether or not this guy is capable of black magic, because that's kind of the whole thing. And Holmes is just very like, magic? I don't think magic's not real. It's not real.
It's almost like he's trying to like debunk it.
Yeah, it's basically kind of he's trying to be like a MythBuster type,
a little bit,
bit. And long story short, they managed to capture Blackwood.
Yep, right? and stop the ritual
pretty quickly. So. Hey, case closed. We caught him. We put him on trial. Yep. He is to be executed. Mm-hmm. He gets hanged, pronounced dead by Watson, and buried.
Yep.
And that's probably where the movie would have ended. But as it turns out, a groundskeeper of the cemetery where Blackwood was buried reported that Blackwood had rose from the grave and walked out, alive and well. Mm-hmm. So that's where we go into the next day, where now Holmes and Watson
back on the scene
are back on the case, and Watson's like ready to just. I'm trying to get married.
Yeah, he's just
he's just trying to get and also we kind of see like the dynamics between them. So like Holmes has like a lot of obsessive tendencies, and then Watson has like a little bit of a gambling problem, it seems.
Yeah. Right, because they're in like the forget what the building's called, but it's like because a fight breaks out.
Oh yeah.
During that whole moment,
there definitely was a fight.
Actually, Watson Or not, Watson was the gambling guy, and then he wins something, but then Holmes starts a fight, and then he loses all his money.
Yeah, I think there was something like that.
In the big rustle.
Yeah. And he's just like, all right.
He's just like, you gotta be kidding me.
I was about to win. And Holmes like, you said you wouldn't be gambling anymore, though.
But yeah, anyway, after the fact,
then
they go over
to the
cemetery
to see like, okay, what the hell happened, and throughout the case that's being presented, it seems that there's like a secret society. I can't remember the name.
I can't remember it either
because it's been a while since I've seen this movie.
Maybe I'll look it up. But basically, they go to the cemetery and they open up the.
Case where clearly
the casket,
Lord Blackwood's
where he's supposed to be.
Yeah, not there.
But surprise, it's not him. It's somebody else.
Yeah, and we also see
guy with like the weird tooth or something like that. Like it's like a loose. I don't remember.
Well, yeah, that was Lord Blackwood. He had like a little bit of a tooth.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And also,
but when they open it, it's somebody else though. Like in the
they found a whole other person. Yeah, that's a whole other individual, a whole other body.
A whole different person.
And I can't believe I forgot to mention, before they hung Blackwood, Holmes was kind of like in the middle of like interrogating him in his cell. And and that's where he was like starting to get more information about like, okay, you're not the big fish. You're clearly just like a pawn for somebody bigger. He's trying to still find who Moriarty is. That's kind of like the... secondary story, and on top of this main case that he was dealing with.
I
forgot the Moriarty stuff too, and that's where he like kind of shows off a little bit more. Like, is this guy kind of maybe potentially magical? Because like he's doing some really freaky shit with from inside this cell, and all these like weird like symbols and
then doesn't he like possess the guard? You know?
Yeah, he's like possessing the guards and stuff like that.
And he's just like, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, yeah,
so.
And yeah,
because like they're talking, and then all of a sudden the guard's just like, Wah!
Yeah, the guards don't want to. The guards are absolutely terrified of Blackwood in the cell.
They just leave him alone, like off to the side.
Yeah. And then they're trying to find out who this individual in the coffin was. So they are on the case. They are tracking down some clues, and they leads them over to this kind of. It looks like a workspace that this individual, whose name I can't remember properly, but they essentially we were actually working for.
Is that like the greenhouse?
I think so.
Scene where like two of I think I would assume Blackwood's henchmen come over and be like, "Hey, what you doing around here?" And they're like,
Turns out this individual who died also worked for Blackwood. He was another one and they were working on some like strange, like an herbalist, and they were working on some strange like concoction or experiments and stuff like that. Long story short, they, start to find more clues while they're there to what Blackwood's plans are, and that's when the henchmen come in, and I think that's also where we start to see like the really big guy,
the big
the
monster.
really big dude. Who I think he was in 300.
Oh, okay. Well, that would make sense.
Because he was like just this like really big hulking figure. I'm just like, why does he look familiar?
Probably.
I think it was that guy from 300. You'll know who I mean when you see 300.
Yeah.
Long story short, starts fighting. Watson punching people. Holmes is just doing his like, martial arts detective analytical combat.
Whole slow down the scene and then be like, I'm gonna hit him here. I'm gonna hit him here.
He actually does like a really a very creative use of the environment too, because essentially he's working on like a workstation of like all different kinds of like equipment and chemicals, and he basically makes like a taser. There's like a taser.
Oh yeah, because
which he just like touches it to the guy and just gets blasted back.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
And then after that, they essentially just fight, start to chase after each other. They start to chase after I think the guy's name was Dredger. And he's like French.
Don't they? Oh yeah. Because don't they end up in a shipyard? And he's like swinging this big hammer around.
Fucking hammer. He's just like swinging on these support
beams. And he's breaking the beams.
He's breaking the beams, and it was like all these beams were connected to this like boat that I think they were just in the middle of either scrapping or repairing. It was like really fucked up. So I think they were just like taking bits and pieces of it. But then, as the beams are being taken out, it's still like not too far off like the bay. Like they're not even on shore. They're just like out a little bit out towards the sea of the bay where they're I don't remember the name of the body of water that it was at. Long story short, I keep on saying long story short. The fucking boat goes out to sea, and they manage. I think the big guy gets away actually.
I think so.
Because the damage that was done at the shipyard was
pretty massive.
It was fucking huge. It's like
to say the least.
It's like D&D levels, like catastrophic disaster type.
Very much.
So Scotland Yard's like,
Holmes,
what the
bad.
fuck?
That's bad. You shouldn't do that.
I'm trying to remember what happens right after that.
After that, doesn't he like go and like go after the clues and all the stuff that it's like the investigative work that he
more of the investigative work. Oh, and that's where the secret society I think comes in, because there's like a secret society of like people who believe that like in magic and stuff like that's all done like essentially it's like all these like lords in the body of government for England at the time, in the monarchy. All this like different lords that and Holmes is kind of like deducing like, hey, one of you guys is actually Blackwood's dad, huh? Because he like started to notice like the facial features, and he just starts to do like his like super analytical, like just breaking down of a character with like at a glance. And he's like, okay, so you guys are clearly people that I know in the nobility.
Mm-hmm.
Very prominent figures, all going under like different names, but they were like trying to keep their identities hidden. But Holmes was like, he's just too smart.
Yeah. Because don't they like meet in like a there's a huge crowd and they're gonna be trying to like
they were trying to like confuse where Holmes was, but like I think it was like remember that scene in Taken where Liam Neeson is just remembering from the sound of like.
I'm gonna have to rewatch that because
that was a while ago. I think it was a similar thing where because like Holmes just has like a perfect memory, total recall essentially.
Makes sense. Yeah.
And he's like, I know exactly where I am. I know, definitely can tell like from all your guys' demeanor and just like the things around here. Like you guys are clearly lords in nobility, and I know that you. He points at one of them, is the biological father of Blackwood. And they're like, oh, we gotta keep that shit secret because we think that he actually has some, like, he can do some shit that we're like, that's some,
like, that's weird.
That's magic. Like
that's witchcraft.
They're fully in belief that Blackwood is actually like doing
actual magic.
Yeah. Somewhere along the lines, we also get introduced to Rachel McAdams' character, who's Irene Adler, who apparently is the one. It's like this is Sherlock Holmes. Catwoman to his Batman, essentially, because she's essentially a thief who can not only keep up with Holmes like intellectually, also outmaneuvers him from time to time too. And she's technically a criminal, and he's an officer of the law, and it's all like, oh, we're technically enemies, but we're also like attracted to each other.
It's like same skills, same thing, but just different spectrums.
Yeah, just completely different ends of the spectrum there. And she is essentially dropping or picking up some sort of like information on a bit of an errand for Moriarty, who we don't get to see their face because when she arrives at a carriage, it is just like a whole black silhouette.
Yeah,
with
shadowy.
With like a hat and some gloves. That's all we see, and maybe like a little bit of like a coat of some kind. And then we see some bum kind of just like walking up towards the carriage, asking for like some alms and shit. Yeah. Moriarty just goes, get the fuck out of my carriage, get the fuck away from my carriage, stuff like that.
Because isn't it from like inside his sleeve?
Yeah, he has like one of those like little pocket pistols, or like wrist contraptions that brings out a gun.
Get away.
Yeah,
so he's like, over.
And he's like, oh, sorry. So we find out that this bum was actually Holmes in disguise, because Holmes is also a master of disguise. Because why wouldn't he be? And it also kind of makes... I kind of like that interpretation of the character.
Like he can just blend in with...
Yeah, he just knows...
the scenery.
Literally basically. Right after they were done... I think it was right after Irene and Holmes were done talking. He just like leapt out the window and just started to like run, grab things from around, and like was just following her around until they reached that carriage. She reached that carriage.
That was a fun
conversation.
Scene. That was a fun
Very cool. Very cool. The cinematography of the movie was very well done.
Yeah, I agree.
Which Holmes was able to deduce that Moriarty, he didn't get the guy's identity, but he saw that there was like a bit of like chalk on his person, and he's like, okay, potentially some sort of educator, a professor,
right? Because like that's all he really needs is like some brief, just like if he can see something, just anything,
any little thing. And the way he goes about like analyzing things, so he'll be like touching things, smelling things, licking things, and just like using all of his senses to like the highest potential, essentially. He's a very, very analytical individual. So, whole thing with the whole scene with the secret society is done, and we see one of the lords is in the middle of a bathtub, and essentially they end up getting murdered by Blackwood.
Yeah. And there's like no trace of evidence.
No trace of evidence until they see like all these like strange symbols of like spellcraft and some type of black magic ritual or things of that nature.
I think that's where they find like the secret room, right? Like behind like the bookcase or something like that.
Yeah, they have like their own like little meeting area.
Like, and it's like all dedicated to like.
And this is also where we see this other character who was also in the room with the secret society of lords and magic and stuff like that. I can't remember the name of him.
I can't remember.
Lord Coward.
Lord Coward.
Yeah,
that's what his name was.
That's his name is Lord Coward.
Oh.
He essentially came out with like he's in charge of the Scotland Yard.
Oh, okay.
He's like the essentially like the head of that police organization, and turns out that Lord Coward's also a member of the secret society. And when the secret society members were all coming together to talk about how they're going to handle Blackwood, he's like, we need to have new leadership. So I offer Lord Blackwood to be the leader of our society. And everybody's like, what the hell are you talking about, man? We don't want this guy here. Blackwood appears. He's like, yeah, I'm taking over this shit.
I'm the guy.
I'm taking over this shit. And if you threaten my claim, bad shit's gonna happen to you.
Yeah.
One of the guys was like, "Oh, you know what?
Yeah, sure.
Fuck you. I don't want to.
Whatever.
I will never follow you or whatever." Like stuff. That type of vibe.
Yeah.
And he pulls out a gun and tries to shoot Blackwood, and Blackwood's like, "Are you sure you want to do that?"
You sure?
Blasts the gun, and it just engulfs him.
Yeah.
In flame. The guy shooting the gun.
Yeah.
Completely immolated, and Blackwood's just sitting there like a G.
Yeah, he's just like, told you so.
He's like, yeah, see what happens when you try to come against me?
Magic.
It's quite the power play from
it is.
from Blackwood.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember who that guy was that caught fire. I can't see his name.
Because I know eventually, I know it's kind of like all the way to like the end, where I know that they find like some sort of like machine thing that he's been working on.
Yes, so
and it's going to be used on the people or whatever.
Yeah, so
to like
this is like a little bit later in the film.
Yeah,
and that's after like Holmes starts to bring all the clues together, seeing that like Blackwood's magic isn't actually magic; it's just a lot of very well put like science and trickery and smoke and mirrors type.
Yeah.
He's just like a very he just was able to really plan his magic.
It's a lot of illusion.
Very well, and a lot of illusion.
Yeah.
And the idea was that Blackwood was going to use a machine while he has a bunch of these lords, people in power essentially, gathered in one place.
Yeah.
And he was essentially going to cast a spell that was, I think, going to just straight up kill everybody in the room.
I think so. It was like going to be a poison gas or something.
Yeah, like a poison gas. And we see Irene Adler and Sherlock Holmes trying to stop the machine, which they found. Irene...
Like behind doors or whatever. Like,
yeah, it was like all hidden.
He was... Because I know that Blackwood like kind of like appeared in front of everybody. Everybody's like, it's him.
Oh shit, he's here.
He's actually alive.
You know, the
English,
he's like,
yes, I am alive.
They're so dramatic, the English.
But then backstage.
Yeah, in the back. I think it was underneath the ground, actually.
I
think they were underground.
I think it was beneath the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to recall this movie from like 2 months ago, mind you.
I mean, it's been longer for me.
Yeah, so. It's been longer for me. But you're doing actually a really good job. You're catching up on details.
Because like the more you talk about it, I'm like, oh yeah.
Then this happened,
then
right?
Then this happens.
Yeah.
But they find the machine and then...
They find the machine. They're trying to essentially disable it, neutralize it. Irene is taking specific components out of it.
Yeah.
While Holmes is trying to like shut it down so it malfunctions, and she ends up taking something from the machine, gets away. Holmes is like, I don't have time to chase after her. I have to go resolve the whole Blackwood situation. Blackwood's trying to run, and they just end up going up into this like the middle of some sort of like construction.
Yeah. Well, because I think like Blackwood tries to have the machine like go. Pretty much, he tries to go through his plan, but it doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work. So now he's just like running,
and he's pissed off. He's like, "Dang it!" But I'm like,
fuck.
But it didn't work. Okay, I'm out.
Yeah, it's really funny how Mark Strong actually kind of like tries to play it off like, "Oh yes, this, and then you guys are all gonna die."
Yeah,
and then nothing happens. He's just like. He just starts like walking away very quickly. He's like, "Damn, I'm just going." And then Lord Coward, the guy who was going all like, "Oh yeah, let's go for Blackwood, this and that." He was also there doing basically the same thing that he did during the society meeting. Yeah. Now in front of all these lords, and once Blackwood basically just leaves him behind,
he's just like, "Oh boy!"
And then Lord Coward's just like, like completely surrounded by all the lords he was just about to have murdered. Yeah, like gets abandoned by Blackwood. They run up towards like a building or some sort of construction thing.
I think it's like they're building a bridge or something like that.
I can't remember.
I don't know, but
it's some sort of something was happening there.
Yeah,
and they kind of have like a bit of a fight scene, and it was kind of just like this. You know, maybe Holmes planned the whole thing out, but I don't think Holmes is like a straight up killer either. He kind of has like.
He doesn't intentionally.
Yeah, he didn't. It was like a string of just like very unfortunate events that happened where like Blackwood gets restrained, hung up, and then as I think it was like chains or rope or something that was chains. Like that bring him like together, and then like he just ends up just getting like straight up dropped and like breaks his neck upon impact.
Yeah, and he's like, well, you can't go back from that one.
Yeah, he's just like, well. He's
the
dead.
case.
He's dead. That's a dead man right there, and I guess that's the case solved.
That's the case solved. Like, yes.
Technically, he did solve that. Like, okay, Blackwood wasn't actually practicing in black magic. He just used that as like the illusion for like this science.
The front,
and
basically.
that was just the front for like his science and smoke and mirrors type of magic. Yeah. And then it all kind of starts to end, and Watson's trying to finally marry the girl.
Trying to.
Yeah. We didn't end in a wedding.
Nope.
But they're kind of just like ended the movie with like them kind of just like going, saying their goodbyes and like being all like, hopefully like, I hope we don't have to do another case like this. And it's just like, oh no, because like when Holmes just runs back to the Moriarty thing, he's just like, all right, well, there's still some loose threads going on here, and he's like, case reopened. Something's
not right here.
Something's not right here, which will lead us into the second movie, which is Game of Shadows. But pretty much, as best as I can recall.
That's pretty well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I enjoy the movie. I just haven't seen it in a while. So.
I hear you. It's been a little.
I like the vibes that it gives off.
I just really like that it's very. I don't know what best. That time period is just like a very interesting time to tell like a story.
Yeah.
And I've always been a fan of like the steampunky vibe of in like any setting. And Sherlock Holmes, I think he was kind of like the English Batman
in a way,
because he Batman does have those like Watson's essentially Robin. all Holmes really needed was like an Alfred, or I mean, honestly, maybe more Alfred, like a younger Alfred, because like Watson's kind of just always there helping Holmes.
That's true. Actually, yeah. He's more of his wingman in a way in the crimes.
And also the only other person who can like Holmes actually like likes to banter and like exchange wits with on a constant basis, because like Watson is. It's shown that Watson's not as smart as Holmes, but he's still like smart enough to like
to follow along
and know what Holmes is going after. He knows Holmes very well.
Yeah, well, Holmes is also like open to telling Watson pretty much everything, like the whole case, all the details, things like that. Even though I guess Watson's like a doctor.
Yeah, he's a doctor. He was a soldier.
Right.
In I don't know which war that they had
1890?
Back then. 1890. But he was a soldier and a war doctor, I think.
Yeah, because he's like the coroner or whatever. He checks the time of the death, all that stuff. Yes. But I don't know. Anything else to add?
This cast is phenomenal.
Well, yes,
like
absolutely.
I loved everyone's roles here, from the villains, from the antagonist with Rachel McAdams' character of Irene Adler. I mean, Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah. Enough said.
What can he do? Like, that's wrong, honestly. And Jude Law, always phenomenal. Always phenomenal.
I feel like they really got into character, just like the whole reaction and like I don't know, just the way that they presented themselves.
I feel like just the way that they played off each other was very well.
Also fitting to like the time time piece.
It's just a fun movie. It's really fun.
Right. Yeah. It felt very natural. I feel like with everybody.
You start to think that you're like, maybe I am smart because you're like following along these guys. You're like,
oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's being told in a way that I understand it. And if these are like the smartest men, like this is Sherlock Holmes, like
I can follow along with this.
Dang. I get it. I'm smart too. Honestly, I think that's like a very great writing.
Yes.
Also,
yeah,
because you gotta be able to explain it to an audience in a way that they'll understand.
Mm-hmm. And when it's like investigation stuff, it's kind of hard
and an impressive amount of action too.
Yeah. Well, a lot of fight scenes.
I think
so. A lot of
because I don't think before this movie I ever would have associated Sherlock Holmes with
fighting,
fighting or action.
Nah,
not at all.
No,
not at all. Like definitely a lot of deduction and investigating, and maybe the occasional strange. Because this was like very supernatural-esque themed.
Yeah.
So things of that nature, maybe, but I never would have thought action would have worked so well,
right,
in a movie like this. And
it did.
It was great.
It was great.
I loved it. More.
Yeah, more. I loved all the fighting scenes. It was so cool. Yeah. Okay. You want to go into the facts?
Yeah, let's get into some facts.
All right, we're gonna do some facts, pulling from the regular IMDb because that's our trusty companion.
All reliable.
So, first one here. Yeah, right.
Old reliable.
It just says IMDb. Yeah. First thing here is Watson's line to Holmes. You know that what you're drinking is for eye surgery. So he at the beginning.
Yes.
It's a very obscure reference to Holmes' cocaine usage. So at the time, cocaine was used as a topical anesthetic for eye surgery. So in the stories, Holmes injects cocaine. So.
Listen.
Yeah.
There's a reason why Coca-Cola, when it was introduced, it was considered a gentleman's, the intellectual gentleman's beverage.
Yeah, for those reasons.
And when they started coming out with pictures, and you started seeing these people who were drinking Coke.
Yeah, Coke, yeah.
The eyes, man, told you everything.
Just take one sip. Okay, let's get to work.
Yeah.
So that's wild.
And that's the thing that, thinking about it, there was probably, not everybody, because this was clearly something that was only given to, people with money to imbibe in.
Yeah.
But you still would see, probably a good number of folk just, locked in. And just, on
a whole nother level.
A whole other level, essentially.
Fact number 2, Robert either Miley or Milet Dredger, the big guy, he accidentally knocked out Robert Downey Jr. while filming a fight scene. So the big guy, of course, knocks Robert out. Bang! I'm
all right, so a little
too real.
A little too real.
Which is actually I thought it was kind of funny. It's this is too real, guys, too real.
The hammer. I thought it was the prop one, not an actual one.
That would be even worse.
Yeah.
Another one here is, in the stories, Holmes is described to be an expert of Baritsu. In the film, however, the martial art that Holmes used is the Wing Chun Kung Fu, which is famously used by Ip Man and Bruce Lee. So Robert Downey Jr. is a practitioner of the art in real life.
Yeah, he actually does Wing Chun.
Yeah, so in the fight between him and David Garrick, the actor, at Punch Bowl Pit.
Yeah, when they were doing their fight.
The circle thing.
Fighting pit.
This
is where we actually get the first look of that fighting scene too. How Holmes
to display his
displays his combat prowess and his just skills. So he just knows where to hit weak points with just enough force to discombobulate, neutralize,
kind of stun him.
Yeah, stun him. Yeah, it's really the monk's stunning strike.
It is.
That's literally what it looks like.
Literally that. So he's like, it doesn't matter if this guy's twice my size,
bigger or faster or
if
anything.
I hit him at a right spot.
I just have to hit him at the right spots and set myself up for success.
Yeah, pretty much, which is very clever.
Yeah, and I think I remember too. There was an actual analyst who studied, a martial arts analyst.
They studied this movie.
They were studying the fight scenes there too, and they were talking about
all the moves.
Robert Downey Jr.'s Wing Chun.
Yeah. That's really cool. I thought it was really cool. So. Another one here is a raven is visible every time that a character is killed or thought to be killed. So all of the
I did
big
fail to mention
scenes
that. Yeah.
there was a raven. So I'm like, that's actually really cool. I like little details like that. You know, it's just to kind of catch it. I didn't.
Yeah, I remembered it because like that was one of the things that happened when Blackwood is killed. Like a raven flies off.
Yeah, which is cool. Yeah. I mean, very good symbolism, I guess.
Yeah, they're kind of just used as like
the
symbols
omen
of
death. Yeah. Another one here is the 3 murders of the men and the attempted murder of Parliament coincide with the 4 Greek elements. First was a burial crime scene, which is earth.
Yes,
Second was drowning, water. Third was immolation, like you said, fire. And the fourth was poison gas, or air pretty much. Mm-hmm. So you get the 4 elements, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. I like that.
I like those.
I didn't really think about that until now.
Hold on.
I didn't think about that.
This is giving me ideas.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Not for murder. I play D&D. So let me just clarify.
Okay, sure.
Okay. I could not plan a murder.
And then the last one, there wasn't a whole lot of facts here. You know, just a few here and there. So this is the last one. So after Guy Ritchie signed in as the director, he insisted that the 2 most common cliches of Holmes, such as the elementary "My dear Watson" quip and Holmes' "dear stalker," be dropped entirely. So
really?
I don't know what the dear stalker is.
I don't know. I haven't read like Holmes fiction or novels.
But basically,
I know the elementary thing is like
everybody knows that one. So, but. Yeah, so he's like, nope, we're not doing the cliche stuff. We're making him like unique throughout the whole thing. Like enough, you know.
I think I like the headcanon that it's more like people doing like a caricature of Holmes and talking about like his deduction style, and this is just like the way that they interpret it,
like their way.
Yeah, like if you were to see like a street performance of like just like a little caricatures of like Sherlock Holmes and Watson.
Oh, like everybody's different.
This is just like the play's version of like how Holmes acts. Because they're just all they would really have is just like hearsay in the stories. So like I don't know what's like. So what do you how do you act like a rich or not rich but like smart detective? Like I don't know. Like I've seen some people do something like this, something like that, and they just kind of like string together all these elements to make.
He knows martial arts. Let me show you my rendition of what it looks like.
It might even be that they just use like Watson for martial arts stuff because like they probably just use like Holmes as I don't know. It's just that's my headcanon.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was interesting. But those are the facts. It wasn't a lot, but I mean, just wanted to include it just because it's fun.
Yeah.
So.
No, I like some of those actually.
You want to add anything else before reviews?
Second movie's dope.
Second movie's very good.
Very cool.
Game of Shadows. Yes.
Did we cover that?
No. We didn't cover either.
Oh, we didn't cover either?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah, that's
kind of
first
crazy.
time kind of going into Holmes. I know that we covered Sweeney Todd, I think it was.
Oh,
because it's it's roughly around the same time period, roughly.
Same area, definitely.
It's like, I think Sweeney Todd was more Victorian England.
Definitely.
So it was before this.
It's a little bit before.
Yeah, but I mean, really, kind of same vibes. Very, very gothic England. So, like, I feel like this movie, like the first Sherlock Holmes, is very gothic inspired. I feel like not a lot, but like just the way that people dress or act, or like, and then there's black magic, like being talked about.
I think there's also more a product of like the culture and nature of the location there, and to just the time period also.
Yeah, if it fits well.
Yeah,
but,
I like it.
Yeah,
it's very cool.
Okay, so 1 out of 10. What would you rate the first Sherlock Holmes?
First one?
Yeah.
It's a funny thing. When I saw Sherlock Holmes for the first time, I actually saw the second one first.
Oh, okay.
So
you out of order.
I saw it out of order because I was invited to see the movie with my family.
The first one?
The second one.
In
theaters.
Oh, okay.
When it came out.
Which was like a couple years after?
It was, I think, 2011.
Yeah, okay. So a couple years after.
So it was like a couple years after. And I remember hearing about it, and I didn't like think too much on it at the time until I saw the second movie. I was like,
oh, this is cool.
This shit's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, what you tell me there's another one? There was one before?
There's one before this? Dang.
So, I feel like my scoring might be a little bit skewed a bit.
Yeah.
So, I personally really like the second one.
Okay. Because you saw that one first.
Because I saw that one first, though.
Yeah.
So, if I had to give it a ranking, I would have to put the second one a little bit higher.
Okay, yeah.
So, I'll probably give this one like an 8.
8? That's pretty solid, actually. 8's a good score.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a really fun movie.
It's a really good movie. What can I say? whatever. Okay, yeah. I'd probably give it like a good 7.
7?
Yeah, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. I like it. I remember watching this one first time on TV.
Oh, really?
When we had channels.
Yeah, remember that?
When we had cable.
There used to be these things called channels that would play programs, and sometimes they were movies.
We had Dish Network. That's what we had.
Dish.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so, yeah.
We had Dish Latino.
Of course. But yeah, it was pretty much
I would have seen
on
the
TV.
Spanish version. The Spanish dub.
Yeah.
I'm curious to hear that, actually.
Interesting. Yeah.
That would be interesting.
I'm sure on the DVD you could probably switch it to Spanish. So.
I might do it one day. Yeah. Just to see.
Just because.
Because I can.
But yeah, it was a good movie just to see, like, just on TV, and they're like, hey, that's cool. Let's try watching this movie because we haven't seen it yet. And it was honestly, like a family movie.
This is definitely the kind of movie where, like, if I just want to have like a fun, like, mystery action type vibe with like some friends, and like maybe somebody who doesn't really know Sherlock Holmes, this would be like a really cool way to introduce the character.
Absolutely. Yeah. Get some of the key characters and
some of the key characters,
introducing them,
just like the main overall ideas behind that character, and also fucking Robert and the cast is just great. Like it's hard to say this is a good fucking movie.
The pair of them did very well together, basically. So that's my review, I guess. That's our review of Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, Jesus. I wonder what the whole thing with the hat too. Like, why was it always like a duck?
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. Like on both ends.
I don't know. There's a lot of I don't know.
Because I can get the pipe. Mm-hmm. You know, that was just common for the times, I guess.
Yeah.
Even the coat. It's just the what is the one thing that always like stood out to me. Where I'm just like, what is up with this hat?
What? Why?
Maybe in the next one I'll have an answer.
Yeah. When we cover Game of Shadows.
Of Shadows. So.
It'll be the next one after this.
Or if y'all are willing, say so in the comments.
True. Yeah.
Tell us there.
So hopefully we'll be doing this more regularly.
Yes.
Hopefully, hopefully I can get it up, you know, like once per month ish, maybe once or twice, depending on how often we record. But we'll see. And if you guys have any suggestions, always. If you guys are still listening at the very end of the episode,
frankly, if you're still here with us, like,
good job.
Like, I respect you guys. Like, that's.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It's very kind of you.
But yeah, if you got suggestions for us to cover, any movies, we also pretty much the whole thing of like the movie list on our show podcast. It like started on Castbox, and then it kind of leaked into YouTube a little bit, and it's kind of like up and down. So
so if you want to see how we fumbled at the beginning,
basically
listen to us fumble.
Yeah,
so much more tangents.
Yeah, way more,
more, which is kind of crazy to think.
But we've also covered a lot of stuff.
That's true. I think those were like on average like what, hour or more long.
Yeah, those we had very long episodes.
Very long.
And now it's like we don't need long episodes.
We just have to talk about the thing and we'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll be okay.
Yeah,
I think.
I'm working on it.
We're working.
I feel like the thing is like I'm kind of coming at this from like the standpoint of like I'm having a conversation with somebody, like just like a friend and stuff. And I think that's mainly more or less kind of just the way we've always been doing things.
Yeah, it's more of like, hey, like this is a movie we're going to talk about. This is what it's about, and this is what we like about it. And here's some cool stuff that we know about it. So exactly. It's very casual, very, chill, very relaxed.
Yeah,
basically so like talking to somebody.
Yeah, like talking to somebody at like. Yeah, just about a thing you like, right?
Yeah, like this case, it's like, oh, you haven't seen Sherlock Holmes? Here's some key points across the movie. I mean, kind of spoilers in a way, obviously at the end.
Yeah, we talk a little bit spoilery, but I also feel like that's very common when you're talking about like a movie with some friends.
Yeah,
and
like
you have like
know what the movie's
about.
One
friend who hasn't quite checked it out yet.
Yeah,
and then you kind of just like tell them all these things about it. So you're like, all right, I'll give it a watch because like. I can only tell a story. I'm not going to tell the story as well as you watch the movie, clearly. So if you want to watch the movie before you see this, by all means.
Yeah. But then it's like, you can tell somebody about it, but then like watching it's different. So obviously, listening to something definitely different than watching it. So
So please watch Sherlock Holmes.
Yes. And be sure to subscribe. Subscribe, comment, and just have a good old time.
Yeah. Cheerio.
Oh, no. I think we better stop now.
We're going to stop right now.